Welcome to a brand new journey on the Nature Drifter. Today we are heading out on a quite scenic trip from the plains of Chittagong to beautiful valley of Pokhara. But we aren't taking a direct route, we are making a quick meaningful detour to Laxmi Bazar in Gorkha first. So buckle up and let's get drifting. We are doing this journey with zero tailpipe emission. Today I am behind the wheel of the BYD Atto 2. As you can see here on the dash, we are starting with a full 100% battery and the displayed range of 394 km. I have also reset trip B to 0 so we can track our exact distance and efficiency from the start. Although the displayed range is 394 km, with the upcoming climb towards Gorkha and the varying terrain of Prithvi Highway, I doubt the real world number will stay that high. But the hills of Nepal will be the real test of any EV and the reclaimed range. We will be keeping a very close eye on the consumption number and the regenerative brake performance as we move from the plains into the mountains. Let's see how much range we actually get. We have just crossed Ramnagar and are now officially on the stretch heading towards Muglin. This is one of the most scenic part of the highway, where the hills start to close in and the Trishuli river begins to keep us company. Sit back and enjoy the view. We are passing through Tastunga now. You can see the bridge going to Delva. This place has a lot of history and a beautiful river view below. For those of you with a keen eye on the dashboard, you might have already noticed that I've set my car to eco mode. There's a reason for that. I've had the Atto 2 for about a month and a half now, and we're still in the getting to know each other phase. Since I haven't taken it on many long trips, I found the eco mode's relaxed throttle response much more familiar. It feels very similar to my petrol car I've driven for years. There's also a comfort factor. My fellow travelers have complained in the past that the instant power and aggressive braking of the normal or sports mode make them feel motion sick quite easily. The sudden jolts of electric torque aren't for everyone, so keeping it in eco mode makes the journey a lot smoother and more enjoyable for the people on board. In terms of setting, I've kept the Regen on standard for most of the highway. The only exception was the steep Gorkha downhill section where I switched it to high. It gave me that natural engine braking feel I'm used to from my old cars. Just keep in mind that these choices, the eco mode and the Regen setting, definitely play a role in the efficiency number I'm showing you today. This is the famous Muglin junction, the heart of our highway network. From here, taking a right would lead us towards Kathmandu, but we are taking the left fork, heading across the bridge towards Pokhara. We pulled over in Muglin for a quick break to stock up on some snacks and water. It's a busy spot, but it's a perfect place to stretch our legs. Let's look at the data. We have traveled almost 36 kilometers from our starting point in Bharatpur. Our battery is now at 94% and the remaining range has dropped to 348 kilometers. If you're doing the math, we have used 46 kilometers of our displayed range to cover 36 kilometers of actual road. We are now crossing the Trishuli river, but we are doing it a bit differently. Instead of the new highway bridge, we are taking the old iconic Muglin bridge. It feels special to drive through this piece of history. The old bridge is looking absolutely beautiful today. It's retired from the heavy highway traffic, but for travelers like us, it's the perfect way to slow down, enjoy the river flow, and capture the spirit of our journey before we stop for a quick tea break. We are now driving through the Muglin Abu section. As you can see, the road here are still quite narrow. We are sandwiched between this massive towering cliff and the river below, which make this one of the most cautious yet scenic part of the drive. We have taken the right turn at Abu Khairani, left the main highway to Pokhara behind. We are crossing the Marsandi bridge, leaving Tanoor district, and now officially entering Gorkha. This 27-kilometer stretch from Muglin has been the most demanding so far. While we only moved about 27.5 kilometers on the map, we have consumed a significant chunk of our estimated range. It shows just how much energy the Atto 2 needs to tackle these Gorkha inclines. We are definitely paying the hill tax now, but the car handles the climb without breaking a sweat. Now that we have reached our stop in Laxmi Bazar, let's look at the data for this leg. We have travelled a total of 63.5 km from Bharatpur. Our battery is currently 81% and the remaining range is 276 km. Leaving Laxmi Bazar at 81%, we made it back down to Abu Khairani with 80% battery still in the tank. That's nearly an entire leg of the journey, completed with just 1% of consumption. This is the magic of regenerative braking. As we descended from the hills of Gorkha, the car was actually putting energy back into the battery. and pull over at Speedbreaker Cottage. It's time for our second tea of the trip and a quick check of the numbers to see how we're doing after leaving the hills. This is where it gets interesting. Our total distance traveled is now 123.1 kilometers and the battery is at 68%. But look at the range. It's 278 kilometers. If you remember our stop in Laxmi Bazar, our range was 276 kilometers. That means we have traveled nearly 60 kilometers and our estimated range has actually increased by 2 kilometers. We are on the final stretch into Pokhara. Normally, this is the part of the drive where the magic happens, where the horizon opens up and the massive peaks up on the Pune range usually dominate the skyline, giving you that unmistakable feeling that you have arrived in a special place. We have reached the Pokhara city limits and it's time for the final number. Our total distance for this leg is 160 km and we are finishing with a 57% battery and 211 km of remaining range on the dash. Looking back, we started at around 200 meters of elevation in Bharatpur and climbed to over 800 meters here in Pokhara, with plenty of ups and downs in between, using only 43% of our battery to cover 160 km under this real world condition is a solid result. Based on this consumption, the car is proving that a full 100% charge would carry you well over 370 km, even with this elevation gain. For a trip like this, range anxiety simply isn't an issue with Atto 2. We are heading towards lakeside now to check into our hotel and get some rest. It's time to recharge before we dive into the next leg of our adventure. If you enjoyed this road trip, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Atto 2's performance in the comment. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.